Hey there. Well, I'm out here looking things over around my persimmons, which, man, I didn't realize I put this many out here. Now, you'll see here, this is an older tube I had in the garage and decided, you know what, I'm going to reuse that. I've taken it off a tree somewhere along the line and held on to it. 2019 is the year that this in here was planted, which is, of course, this year. Tree number 6. Got the webbing on top. And what I did was I came in here and I numbered all these tubes. And I did that to try to get an idea of exactly how many persimmons I had planted. I stood out here in the center of them, counted them, and I kept coming up with different numbers. And I thought, you know what, it's time to really get down to the nitty gritty and mark them. That way I know. Here's another one. Now, freshly disturbed dirt. I had planted this one yesterday, as well as that one over there. And let's take a look down inside. Hopefully you were able to see that. That's a tree number 8. And what I did was the ones that are marked 2019, I started marking those first because I knew for a fact when those were planted. Man, the skeeters are bad out here. And take a walk over this way. There, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. There's 6 of them. 2019. Excuse me. Now, we'll turn around to this one right here, and we're going to take a look at some 2018. Like I said, I will be putting packing tape across that number to try to preserve that number onto that tube as long as possible, because it will fade away. This is my pride from last year. A deer got in here and nipped. It's a 5-foot tube, which this one right here, I do believe I cut it down just a little bit so it would accommodate this one limb, maybe about 6 inches. But anywho, this is the one that I started last year, and my word, look at the growth. I'm right at 6 foot tall, and I can't even get my hand to the very top of that tree. So we're looking well over 7 foot. The seed from that I germinated last year, and that tree was only 4 inches tall. The seed came from my uncle, who got it at an arboretum somewhere. Good looking tree nonetheless. And that's the best looking 2018 I have. Now, we're going to get into looking at the 2017, tree number 26. You see all the growth in here. It's inside the tube. That tube's going to be lifted up eventually, and I'm going to cut all that out of the way. Clean it up to where I have one growth just above the tube, which I can get away with this one right here. It's right at the level, so it won't hurt nothing. But nice nonetheless. And right here, I'm walking up on another 2017 tree number 25. Now, one thing I've noticed about this tree, the ends of the limbs came out red, and some of them have turned to a green color, like right here, it turned to a green color. But the one thing that I noticed, characteristic of this tree, it curled when it came out of the tube last year, and I thought, well, eventually it'll straighten out. I'm gonna leave it alone. Maybe it's because it's top heavy, I don't know. But if that tree was standing straight up, that would be a very tall tree. Right here's another 2017. The leaves are a lot smaller for whatever reason. Now the 2017 seedlings that I had placed out came from a nursery out of Michigan, and I was seen in, well, I wasn't told, I seen in the book that they were called meter, and the leaves are a lot smaller on this tree, but I got something going on here. I have no idea what that is, but I'll leave it alone. Mother Nature has its own way of doing things. Right there is another 2017, and this too is a 2017. And I'm still walking through here. I'm walking around all these trees. Tree number 21 is a 2017. I got in here and cleaned all the stuff inside the tube, and got some good girth right there. And right here, this had broke off for whatever reason, but it shot up another limb. And this one right here is a 2018, and it just recently came up out of the top of the tube this year, which, by the way, all that down in there I cleaned up. Japanese beetle. And we have another one here that needs to be cleaned up a little bit, 2017. It's bunched up from here on up. Get that cleaned up, which I will be taking the tube off to do that. I gotta watch what I'm doing when I do this, because there's probably wasps in there. They like to get inside them tubes. So, anywho, I'm gonna take a walk right over here. Here's another 2018, and what had happened was I forgot to take the net off the top, and it had actually broken the top, and as you can see, there's another shoot coming out from it. So fingers crossed, we'll see how that does. And here's another one of the prizes that I have that came from Michigan. Tree number 27, the very last one I marked. And this tree right here, as you can see, has really taken off. Now on the sides right here, this tube was never cut back, by the way. It is a 5-foot tube. The deer got up on their hind legs and had their way with just this one side. But they haven't done that to the other ones. I don't understand why, but it happened. But you can see the bark on that. That's a healthy looking tree. And I am very pleased. The only other tree I've seen grow that fast is my chestnuts, and I don't think my chestnuts really put as much growth on as that Persimmon's meter. You would think, with all the trees that I have planted as far as the Persimmons, that I've got to have some females in here. They say a lot of your seedlings are male, and we're just going to wait and see. Now, one of the things I wanted to explain while I'm thinking about it off the top of my head, the netting. That's on top of the tree tube for a reason. is to keep birds from falling down inside. Years ago, I had a tree that I planted out front. A bird had fallen in there and it decayed. And I got to noticing, man, that tree ain't growing. What is the reason for that tree not growing? I didn't know. And after the second year, I left it alone the first year. The second year, I took it up, and that's when I found the bird carcass. And come to find out, the methane gas from that bird poisoned that tree. By the way, that tree is still alive today. It's just behind, and it's very tall. The limbs are way up there before they branch out. But it's doing fine now. Anyways, this is it. You like what you see, subscribe, and don't forget to click on that bell for notifications. You all have a God blessed day.